Hi, it's Joy, and today we're watching Young Royal Season 2, Episode 2. Thank you so much to my anonymous patron for sponsoring this season. I am so excited for this episode. I'm also quite stressed because I'm worried about my children. Let's go. I wonder why it's his mother. I'm sorry, I have my schoolwork to get to. Sweetheart.
Jag fyller faktiskt 18.
Va? Wow. Skojar du?
Men jag gick om ett år när jag var yngre.
Vänta, oh my god, vänta, du kan gå ut och klubba. Och du kan köpa cigg till mig.
Fyller år så lägger vi bara några 100 var och sen så köper vi något litet.
Don't worry, it's a tradition. Och det är lika för alla. Ja. Tack. Varsågod.
Sarah, I mean, I get that this situation is impossibly awkward and that they are being quite stupid and insensitive, but shows you just how sheltered they are. Second of all, I also get that Sarah has Asperger's, so social situations are even harder for her to deal with. But at the same time, just say, I really can't accept this because when it's your turn, I don't have a couple of hundred. And I know she wants to fit in and she wants to be one of them, but she isn't, and she's going to work herself into this impossible situation. Or talk to Felice in private and say, look, I'm worried. I love living here and I want to be one of you, but I can't right now. Like, or I can't like this.
Från mig och mamma. På hemsidan så stod det att det var den bästa.
Are they going to be riding trousers?
Aha.
Text your mom so she can make the food another time. Yeah, that's what the girls got her.
Fick redan ett par ännu bättre märke.
Sure, you don't say that, you say thank you.
Vi kanske kan lämna tillbaka.
These children.
Om ni är missnöjda med honom får ni byta ut honom.
Jag brinner för det.
They're nice friends.
Ses.
Med Felice som har glömt sin matbok.
Sarah has no brother loyalty. Like, I get it, she wants to be with her friends, but like, she knows in this class he keeps being forced to sit next to his ex, and it's awkward. The least she could do is sit next to him for one class. She lives with Felice.
Jag kan bara vara ärlig med hur jag känner. Du kanske borde testa det.
You're both drowning. Only one of you has someone to talk to about it.
Era saker. Med en gång.
I do think within the school, he should just be Wilhelm. Or if they call all the students by their surnames, Mr. Royal. I don't know what his surname is. Like, again, like, I get that, like, there are all sorts of people here, but every kid should be treated the same in the school. You know, he's a little alone and drowning right now. He could use someone to talk to. And I get why it's not all on Simon to be that person, but...
Det har varit en ära att ha er här på skolan.
She's pulling him out of the school. She can't even... Like, her son says, I'm not going to be king. Basically has a breakdown on the phone to her. And she's like, well, I've sent some... And then he won't call her back. I've sent someone else to pick you up because I'm busy. The jumper. Oh, is he going to say, Wilhelm left this, I've got to take it to him, or is he going to keep it?
Vi behöver skynda på här.
Oh gosh, everyone gawking.
Och sen fortsätter vi den här diskussionen där.
This school is all he's got right now. A feeling that he's away from the palace while he's here. Oof. That meant a lot to him. And it feels like his life's being shattered. Like, the Queen really couldn't come herself to talk to her son. In all the days leading up to this, because by the fact that the Queen kept trying to call, it's been at least a couple of days, she couldn't come herself. She couldn't say, oh, I'm really sorry, my son's having some trouble, and, you know, since his brother died, I'll postpone whatever diplomatic shenanigans she's off to. Royals don't do that much. This Queen is fucking always busy. She's apparently the hardest working royal in the world.
Kommer du ihåg den här?
Jo, du fick den av morfar.
Ja, jag tänkte i alla fall att du kunde få den av mig.
He wasn't perfect, but he was a good big brother.
Du ut mig för hela skolan.
Alltså, Wilhelm, du måste förstå att det blir reaktioner när du kommer med hot.
So he'll go on Instagram and tell everyone.
Jag kände.
Att du har sorg, och det har vi allihop. Kan inte bete sig rätt.
Are you grieving? Have you ever actually spoken to your son? helped him through his grief in the slightest? Abolish all monarchies for the mental health of the children involved.
Honom berodde på videon. Du skulle kasta bränsle på elden.
Fast du tvingar mig att ljuga.
Mhm.
Om du nu är den
Unconventional.
så vill jag att det ska komma ut på dina egna villkor, inte för att någon tvingar dig.
Okej.
If that's what she genuinely means, why the fuck didn't she say that to him in the first place? Or is that just a good control him for now thing to say? Because if you say to him, oh, it's just for now, we want you to come out on your own terms, then maybe he'll back down. Like, she would have said that to him in the beginning if that was the only reason they didn't want it to come out. She said, no, you're in the royal family, you can't be gay, essentially.
Det betyder att du är inte mogen för att ta det beslutet nu.
He is mature enough to know if he's gay.
Då kan vi prata om jag inte agerade när du uttrycker det som du gjorde.
Snälla, kan inte du bara
Yeah,
vara
you've never been
mamma
his
just
mom
nu,
one
snälla?
day in his life.
Jag vill att du träffar en psykolog så att du får ordning på de här känsloutbrotten.
I mean, I don't think that's the worst idea. I think that's a pretty good idea.
Också att du tar din roll
But-
som kronprins
She's not doing it because she cares about her son, she's doing it because she cares about the monarchy.
och allra
If you love your son, you'd be with him right now talking to him himself.
Är det okej?
Ja, jag stannar.
Ville! Ville killen!
August really wanted him to be gone.
Showen är slut.
Like, if you can't take it, August, quit. You destroyed with one bit of happiness Wilhelm found after his brother died. Fuck off and leave him alone.
Att just nu så platsar ingen av er till laget.
He's trying to exert some of his power back.
Jag fattar inte hur du bara inte kan bry dig. Också efter det idag, hur kan du bara stänga
He
av?
doesn't not care. I just wish they could talk it all out. Again, I know I've said this 1,000 times. I think I said it last season 1,000 times. I've said it already this season 1,000 times. I just need him to sit down and talk it out. For him to talk about the pressures he's under being the crown prince, and for him to talk about what his life is like and how the idea of entering that world is terrifying and how he hadn't quite anticipated it. And this is a progress step, though. They are talking.
De stöttar mig.
It's a little bit of an exaggeration of the story, but she did kind of say she would support him.
Fyller 18 så ska vi prata om det. Prata om vad jag vill och så här.
She's just pushing
Det
it
är bara 2
away.
som skulle behöva vara hemligt. Vadå, ni ska prata när jag fyller 18? Ja. Eller vad?
I mean, for him, the awful thing is for Wilhelm, this is a huge step from his mom. And to everyone else, you're like, sweetheart, if she loved you, she'd talk to you now. She would have, for one thing, wanted to have a conversation with him about this. Was Simon the first time he realised he might be gay? How does he feel about it? Does he think he's also into girls, or is it just guys? You know, I guess, like, you'd want to be open to the kid having talking about that as much as they were comfortable doing, obviously. She's not once asked him any of that. She just told him he wasn't allowed to be gay right now, and now is realising, oh wait, I might actually lose my only kid over this, / the monarchy might lose its only heir over this. I better backpedal.
Med att du skulle neka att det var du i videon. Hur ska jag kunna lita på dig?
I know where Simon is coming from, and I do understand. And to be honest, I don't blame him for not wanting to be in a secret relationship. I really, really don't. But I also get frustrated a little bit that I feel like he's so in his own feelings. He's never once tried to imagine what Wilhelm's going through and what he's thinking from and why he's acting the way he is and where he's coming from. And there would be nothing wrong with him thinking that through and still deciding it's not for him. I mean, hell, like I've said before, I think royal families are so fucking messed up institutions, but they fuck up the mental health of the people inside them. And then they also just create such awful entitled people. They shouldn't exist. Abolish the monarchies. Wilhelm is a saint for being as lovely as he is, given that he comes from a monarchy. But, like, I wouldn't want to be a part of that because how disgusting the system is and how it treats people. So if anything, I don't blame him for choosing to not be a part of that. Obviously, I don't think with this show it's going to be that black and white. But I also feel like he's kind of just like acting as though Wilhelm should be entering this relationship like just a normal kid, with no acknowledgement of the fact that he doesn't get to be a normal kid, and that's not his fault. I do think as well there are times where Wilhelm could think more about how Simon isn't from the same world as him and doesn't quite know the same things he does. But right now, I feel like Wilhelm is so alone and struggling so much, and Simon is like, why can't you just be normal like me? It's not fair. And he's not letting himself think about which if he loves him, he would.
Jättefin kompisar då. Mm.
I know they're teenagers, so I'm not overly harsh on them for not thinking of the other one. But genuinely, like right now, I am concerned so much for Wilhelm's mental health and for the dark places it could take him in reality.
Pirra. Då ska man fan ligga med den. Alltså det är en helt annan känsla.
She is trying so hard to fit in here, and she is losing herself to that feeling. Why did she leave her phone in the bathroom? Sarah. So she now knows who really told him about it being him. You do realise what you did was disgusting. What he did was disgusting, and you enabling it is disgusting too, in a different way. You benefiting from your brother's misery. You've still got it bad. Oh, sweetheart, talk to him. Talk to your mum. These kids, because I feel like he doesn't feel like he can talk to people properly about William, because all his friends are like, yeah, fuck him, yeah, which is supportive, but it also doesn't fully encompass the wide range of his feeling. Oh, yeah. You're allowed to move on. I don't blame you for that.
Ja, sa sitt eget, även fast det är på gården liksom.
How old is he?
Vill du ha något att dricka?
I'm guessing he's like 18, which is only a year difference, which I'll take. Well, because he's using you to move on, which he's a teenager, it happens.
Du är fin.
Du med.
I think he just wants to watch a film with you and get to know you.
Och vi kanske inte behöver stressa.
Mm.
Och så ser vi vart vi hamnar.
Trouble is, Marcus, he does like you.
Okay.
And in a world where he wasn't getting out of something with Wilhelm, he would also want that. But right now, he just wanted to sleep with you to vent some frustrations. Why are you so obsessed with August?
Det var Felice som berättade för Wilhelm om videon.
Betraying your friend who's been nothing but kind to you. To a boy that leaked your brother's sex tape. Sarah.
Vad snackar du om?
Men att du gör det först. Jag menar, nu har du fortfarande chans att göra det. Men ta smällen.
Okej.
Would he not go to prison for distributing child pornography? Sweetheart, he filmed and distributed a sex tape of your brother. Like, what are you doing?
Vill ha sex med dig?
I mean, she's Sarah in a way. For me, someone filming and distributing a sex tape of someone I care about would actually be a turn off. You do you, Sarah. I don't need to try and, like, give her more sympathy. She's just currently acting in a very, like, even for somebody with Asperger, somebody somewhere on the autism spectrum, she's just so desperate to fit in. And I don't think that there's no excuse. You got, and like, you don't treat people, oh, just because you have Asperger's, we forgive you everything, you're perfect and wonderful, because she's a lovely person, and you have to understand certain behaviours she does. This is not one of them. And, yeah, the boy that did that to your brother, and you're like, yeah, I'll sleep with him, like, blackmailing him to get what you want was fucking dirty, and it still showed that she was prioritising herself over her brother because she was willing to do that. But at the end of the day, like, this, pursuing a relationship with him, betraying Felice so that he likes her. Felice has been nothing but a supportive friend, kind of clueless, kind of a little obvious that maybe a girl here on a scholarship might not be able to afford stuff the same way you can. A bit dumb, really, but other than that, very supportive. Also, he does really need to see a therapist, so I'd love him to actually open up to one. But I think you have to want to be there.
Sa jag inte?
I'm worried, sweet
Det var
boy.
bra under omständigheterna.
En sak ska kronprinsen veta, och det är att
Even your therapist calling you Your Highness.
Det är konfidentiellt.
Even from his
Som du
mother.
märker så för ju inte jag några anteckningar hur det har varit här på utsatt tid eller inte.
That's good.
Så jag behöver inte prata.
I think
Nej,
it
om ni inte
would
vill
really
prata,
help you
behöver
two,
ni inte göra
sweetheart,
det.
when you're ready. It would help you so much to have someone to listen and talk to you, someone that genuinely wants something good for you. I hope we see him opening up to the therapist at some point. Oh, baby. Babies. Yeah, I'm proud of you taking it. Baby steps.
Vad säger du om vi misslyckas?
Fuck it, det är tillräckligt många för att rösta bort honom.
He's gonna be pissed if you succeed! But it won't matter, I suppose.
Tjena August. Kanske inte ni heller borde göra om ni ska ha någon chans kvar med i rodlaget.
Nej, sant. Fan, tänk på berättning.
Du med.
I do think he has a bit of an eating disorder, but you know what? I care, but I want him to get help away from here.
På Insta. Alltså om han har gått vidare så här fort, vad fan betyder jag? Redo?
Rebound, sweetie. Trying to force himself to be over you.
Så att han kan lita på dig.
Honestly, as much as I desperately want Wilhelm and Simon together, I think they make each other happy. I think he brings out a side of Wilhelm that Wilhelm needs, etc. I also think maybe a little bit of time right now for Wilhelm to just figure out his own brain would be appreciated, because that boy is going through stuff and I want to help him. I don't speak Swedish, but I'll be his therapist. Maybe we'll get a translator therapist. I don't know. I assume he speaks a little bit of English because most European people seem to, but I would never assume they have to speak proper English.
Vi har redan röstat fram en ny prefekt.
You're going down.
Och vem
Look, this isn't... You should be in prison for distributing child pornography.
ska lyckönska värdefulla för oss? Tänker ni låta honom bli lagkapten också?
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, that was a really shady friend thing for them to do.
Grattis! Vad fan var det här?
My evil mastermind plan to destroy August is working. Mwahaha. I'm just worried he's gonna lose himself.
Ja, vad ska ni göra mer och så?
Selling him, I
Vi
imagine.
säljer honom.
Och följa med och assa på typ tävlingar och sånt? Ja, jag behöver också någon sån.
They are trying to be supportive friends to her. I just can't believe they've never... I mean, I can believe the money thing has never occurred to them.
Stig, någon kan ju skada sig.
Förlåt, jag trodde det var jag som var lagkapten.
Like, this guy was August's friend until literally last night. That's what's so funny. So many of these rich kids are just such absolute monsters because of the lives they've led and the privilege they've had. And they're disgusting. And at this point, I think a lot of them are lost causes. I do not know how Wilhelm is as nice as he is. That's why his kind of darker side frightens me. Not because I feel like, oh, he's going to be an evil person, but because I think every single one of these rich kids could lose themselves to that line of thinking that I am better than everyone. I get what I want. I assert my will. I destroy anyone that wrongs me. Now, I get wanting to destroy August. I cheer on wanting to destroy August. I kind of want August to leave, get therapy, and face punishment for what he did. But, like, I'm just worried that Wilhelm could, in reality, lose himself into becoming one of these snobbish assholes.
Nej, ärligt, varför bryr dig? Jag vill... Jag vill inte att du drar ner betygen. Idrottsläraren vill ju att vi tävlar för skolan. Kom igen.
Is he okay? He's trying to spend time with him and show him he cares, because he does care. I need these boys to talk. I want to lock them in a room till they talk. I mean, that's a good sign for him, for Wilhelm, that he didn't say, yeah, he's my boyfriend, or yeah, I'm seeing him. He didn't want to admit that he was seeing someone else, which shows you still got a chance. But they would all know there was no way they beat them fairly. Bless them, they're so bad at running, comparatively. He only gets involved when it's serious. Texting Marcus with that smile on his face. Like, you need to be a good friend. If the Queen doesn't destroy August, she is not a mother. Like, genuinely, if she's all like, I've got to be diplomatic with you and you're an important part of the court and so I must treat you with respect. Fuck that. He destroyed your son's life. He ruined the only bit of happiness he had. He almost outed him to the world, which, if you have any degree of caring for him, you would. He released a fucking sex tape of a child who he was supposed to look after. Like, genuinely, there are so many things about what August did that make him despicable. Do I also feel a little bit sorry for August in some regards? If I detach myself from the knowledge of what he did, then yes, he's clearly struggling with mental health. He's got some kind of eating disorder. He is definitely one of those kids that is struggling from the weight of the pressure of the life he's been given, but that does not give him the right to do what he did, and he's still acting like he is the victim. Like, I get that initially he was trying to, like, appease Wilhelm, and obviously now he's getting a little bit more pissed off, but if the Queen goes easy on him, that woman can burn in hell. Like, now, I don't know what the reality is. What do you do when you don't want a public scandal? You don't want to admit that it was your son in the video, so your palace can't even issue any official statement, like, because then they'd be admitting it was Wilhelm. So, like, what do you do? But if she goes easy on him, like, what she should do is say, I mean, it's his final term. I was going to say the palace isn't paying for your fees anymore. Maybe the palace is going to ask for your fees back, or put them towards Wilhelm's next term and we're not paying for you anymore. I don't know. Or we were going to pay your debts, now we're not going to sell the estate. You know, that is the level of petty I would be to someone that had done that to my child. I would not want them in my, I mean, I wouldn't have a court, but I wouldn't want them in my social circle anymore. I wouldn't want anything to do with them. So she better not be like, oh, the royal family need you to come together. Can you be there for Wilhelm? I'm worried about him, because fuck that. Now, August, like I said, he is a kid. I do feel a little bit sorry for him at times. Not in the sense of Wilhelm's anger being directed at him, just like in general feel sorry for him at times, because I do think he is a kid in a shit situation. But then his actions are so unforgivable that it just pulls me away from feeling sorry for him at all, if that makes sense. It's a strange one, because you're like, oh, I think he's got an eating disorder. That's so tragic. Oh, wait, yeah, he posted it. Yeah, no. The best thing for him to do would be to fuck off, and we'd all be happy. If this is the final term, does that mean he won't be in season 3 because he'll have graduated? Then we have my children, my loves. Okay. One of my children who may stop being my child is Sarah. Now, that is because I do not know what the fuck she's doing with August. Like, maybe she's seen him being frosted out by Wilhelm or whatever, and so she kind of thinks he's being bullied and I've been bullied and therefore I relate to him. I don't know. But she knows what he did to her brother, and I feel like, again, it's been a while since I watched season 1. Her reaction in season 1 was very much like, we can't leave the school, I'm so sad, wow, poor me. Which I completely get. She was loving her life, she was finally making friends, but she didn't once think about Simon. And maybe some of that is to do with how she interprets social situations and reads people and things. But now, pursuing August, betraying Felice to August, who's only been a supportive friend to her, who has welcomed her into, like, gave her the, like, just has been a lovely friend. I do think the rich girls are showing just how clueless they are with the fact that they haven't once twigged that Sarah does not have the money they have. But other than that, Felice has been a wonderful friend, and she went straight to August because she wants to kiss him and sleep with him. It's just really making Sarah an unlikable character. Now, she is also a teenager, so when I say she isn't, so far she hasn't done anything that I would be like, she can never come back from this, unforgivable, but she is fast becoming one of my least favourite characters. And again, I try so hard to be understanding for her. I do think she is struggling. I think she is struggling from the combination of being bullied at her previous school, coming to this school, being surrounded by so much privilege, and seeing how wonderfully the lives seem of all of these rich kids around her, how easy everything comes for them, how wonderful it is, how perfect it is, and wanting to be a part of that, wanting to just get that life for herself. But the reality is she's never going to have that life in that way. It's never going to be the same for her. Even were she to marry August one day, she would always be known as the outsider girl who married in. Things would never be the same for her, and that's fine. Why would you fucking want to be part of that world? But anyway. She is losing herself to it, but what is frustrating me in a lot of ways is she is quite consciously choosing her desire to have that life over her brother. And when her brother is only at this school to try and support her, her brother left all his friends and came to be kind of the loser kid at this school to a degree because they all treat him like the non-res for her. Her little brother, for one thing, who she should be protecting. Like, it's just not great. And it is not something that you can excuse her being on the autism spectrum for. Like, she knows better. That's what's frustrating me, and it makes me worried. I'm glad that they kind of had to say, oh yeah, that's the only reason I was allowed to stay here and was because I'm turning 18. Because I guess she pulled the, well, and when I turn 18, I'll go there by myself, Mum, you can't stop me, I suppose. Because I was probably mad at their mum for letting Sarah go to the school. She could see she was losing herself. So I am very concerned with Sarah, and what she's doing could actually ultimately end up seriously hurting Simon and Wilhelm. As things stand, August really took away the one bit of light in Wilhelm's life and made it so much harder. Now, yes, the conversations they are having about wanting to be a secret, not wanting to be a secret, will he come out? Can he come out? Will his mum make a plan regarding him being gay? Will she not? Will she be supportive? Or whatever. These are conversations he was going to have. But there is no world where he had to have them in the exact same year his brother just died. Like, then he should have had them in their natural course of things. He and Simon had barely started their relationship. Yes, I believe they'd fallen in love with each other in that sweet young love way. Yes, I think it was the beginning of a relationship that I hope will blossom into something long and enduring. But they deserved the chance to reach this point naturally on their own and not be forced to it. The one bit of sense his mother said was when she tried to claim that she didn't want him to say it was him in the video because she wanted him to come out on her terms. What she really meant by that was she wants to deal with this by her terms. She's hoping that by 2 years' time, Simon will be out of the picture, he'll be over him, and he'll be nice and amenable to do whatever the palace wants, no doubt marry the girl they want him to marry and produce 6.5 children so that the succession is secured, and she won't care if he has 10 boyfriends on the side. Like, that seems to be the kind of vibe she was giving. Now, the bit of hope that I think Wilhelm is clinging to is her claim that he's too young now, but they'll make a plan when he's 18. Because, yeah, if you want to cling to your medieval, outdated monarchy, like all the monarchies around the world do, you're going to need to come up with a plan when the heir to the throne doesn't want to be in a relationship that would naturally produce children. You're going to have to come up with plans. In the exact same way you would if he were to fall in love with a woman and either one of them was to turn out to be infertile. You'd need to come up with a plan. But I didn't get the vibe that was genuine from his mum, largely because it was done at the end of the conversation to placate him when he was standing firm. She'd also had people and told them they could, like, manhandle him out of school. Like, nothing she has ever done has shown that she cares about him. And it really frustrates me to see the way she is constantly flying around the world. It's one of those things that I truly am fascinated about what the Swedish monarchy makes of this show, because it does not paint them in a good light in the slightest. It shows just how outdated they are. It shows just how ridiculous they are. It shows just how uncaring and harsh it is, how much pressure it puts on the children of both them and the rest of the rich Swedes. Like, it's really fascinating, and I think the same light should be shone on all monarchies around the world. It is not just the Swedish monarchy. Maybe some of them do it better than others. I truly don't know. But we don't need monarchies. I love learning about historical monarchies. Modern monarchies are pointless. And Wilhelm is a prime example of that. Because he doesn't get to just mourn his brother. He doesn't get to just come to terms with his sexuality and figure out what he feels, what he wants to feel. Because being the Crown Prince has to come first at all times. It's so disgusting. It does frustrate me a little bit that Simon has never really seemed to properly think about what Wilhelm's going from his perspective. And I do kind of, thinking about it, I do get it, that he sort of views Wilhelm as being the one with the power in the dynamic. He's the one who is privileged. He's the prince. He's the one that has everything he could possibly want in the world. And Simon's the one whose life would probably be ruined. And it's kind of true. When the sex tape came out, one of them had a palace of people to protect them and the other one didn't. Realistically, the palace should have tried to protect both children in the situation, but fuck the palace. So on a kind of power dynamic level in that sense, Wilhelm does have more power than him in the relationship. He is the one that's saying it's got to be a secret, it can't be a secret. Whereas, Simon wouldn't mind having a boyfriend, he's not worried about being in the closet or anything. But I would like him to stop and think at some point about Wilhelm as a person. Because as a person, he is drowning. And the one bit of hope I have is that he is going to have therapy. and hopefully over time he will open up. That he took that booklet on anxiety and hopefully he will read it. I just desperately want to see that boy in that therapy session talking to the therapist and engaging with him, because fucking hell he needs it. I'm thankful that the therapist clarified that nothing would be said to the parent. That is normally the way, but sometimes with children there can be like a, oh, we have to tell the parents. I know it's with little children they have to tell the parents, but like with the Queen you could quite easily see her being like, you're not going to tell me what he says. And the fact that he like clarified he's not, if he then did tell the Queen, that guy should be disbarred. If he just never mentioned it either way, you'd still be like, that's pretty shit. But Wilhelm deserves a safe space, someone he can talk to, someone who will listen and won't get personally hurt and affected by what he's going through. Someone who's an adult who will help him. Someone else I'm quite disappointed in is Wilhelm's father. Because the times we've seen him, he seemed to be the more understanding parent. Obviously, he is not from the line of succession. He's like married into the family, but he seemed more understanding or wanting to care more about his son. That man has not existed since the sex tape leaked. Where the fuck is he? I mean, I don't know, maybe he was there at the end of the last season. If the Queen is jetting off around the world, could his father come and have a chat with his son? You know? Because genuinely, right now, if things continued like this, it would not surprise me if Wilhelm did something that he can't take back and made a mistake. You know, either started taking drugs and alcohol and overdose, or intentionally tried to take his own life because he feels like he's trapped and there is no way out for him and there is nothing in his life that he can hold on to. Like, if I had a kid and they were almost forcibly outed by a sex tape being leaked, my god, that kid, I would be, I mean, obviously try not to smother them, I would be like, but I would be so much in like making sure they knew I was there for them and not trying to make their lives worse. It's very frustrating. And he worries me a lot. And I just cannot feel as worried for August when I know that he has intentionally put someone else in that situation, and anything Wilhelm does is lashing out in return. Whereas August lashed out at him simply because he had more privilege than him, which is ridiculous when you're as privileged as August is. I am worried about Simon as well, because obviously he is in a difficult position. I'm worried about him in general because anybody marrying into the royal family isn't easy, and especially if you're not from the right world, it's a lot to adjust to. I would like to think, given that he is the literal crown prince, and given that he's already experienced just how much it sucks being forced to conform, that with Wilhelm at the helm, with him more at the forefront, with if he does take responsibility and saying he's going to be the crown prince, he might change things, he might loosen things up around there, he might make it a more modern monarchy, even though that phrase shouldn't exist. I would hope that would be the case, but it's going to be a huge adjustment going forward if they do stay together. I do feel like he likes Marcus, and in a world where he hadn't met Wilhelm or they hadn't fallen in love, I think he would be falling for Marcus head over heels. I think he does get butterflies, he does like it, but I think he kind of likes it because it's someone that's uncomplicated. Like, he doesn't need saving all the time, like Sarah said. He's not complicated, he's just a normal guy, a guy from Simon's normal life that he can have a normal relationship with. From what we've seen, he seems to be patient. He wasn't just trying to bonk him, he was willing to take it slow. I'm still mildly concerned that he's trying to get some kind of tabloid story, but that's just because I don't trust anyone. I think given his relations with the school and with the community, I don't think that's what he's doing, but I just feel like that relationship is such a textbook rebound. It is, I'm over Wilhelm because I'm with Marcus. Yes, I'm over him, and I don't think it's going to be great for Simon down the road that he jumped so quickly into this relationship when he's not over Wilhelm. I love the show. Thank you so much for sponsoring, and thank you for watching.